August 12, 1985. Tokyo's Haneda Airport is buzzing with chaotic energy. It is the eve of Obon, the traditional Japanese holiday when millions travel to reunite with their families and honor the spirits of their ancestors. Among the crowds is Japan Airlines Flight 123, a massive Boeing 747. Tonight, the aircraft is packed to the brim. 509 passengers and 15 crew members, a total of 524 souls. There are business executives heading home, young couples, and entire families holding hands, filled with holiday excitement. In the cockpit is Captain Masami Takahama, a highly seasoned veteran with nearly 15,000 flight hours. Beside him is First Officer Yutaka Sasaki, and behind them, Flight Engineer Hiroshi Fukuda. It is a textbook, routine 50-minute hop to Osaka. At 6:12 p.m., the giant aircraft lifts off into a clear sky, climbing up into the evening sun. Everything is perfect. But hiding in the tail of the aircraft is a ticking time bomb. A secret left behind 7 years ago. 12 minutes into the flight, the plane is climbing through 24,000 feet over Sagami Bay. Suddenly, a violent shudder rips through the airframe. In the cabin, the ceiling panels near the rear toilets collapse. Oxygen masks drop instantly. The air turns into a cold, white mist as explosive decompression violently sucks the air out of the cabin. In the cockpit, a cacophony of alarms begins to blare. Captain Takahama doesn't know it, but a patch repair made to the plane's rear pressure bulkhead back in 1978 has just failed. The metal ripped open like wet paper. The high-pressure air from the cabin rushed into the unpressurized tail cone with apocalyptic force, blowing off the entire vertical stabilizer, the giant tail fin. Even worse, the exploding tail took all 4 of the plane's redundant hydraulic systems with it. In an instant, the hydraulic fluid has drained to zero. The pilots have no flaps, no slats, no rudder, and no elevators. Imagine driving a car at 80 miles per hour on a mountain cliff, and suddenly the steering wheel is completely disconnected from the wheels. That was the reality for the crew of Flight 123. They were flying a massive, 500-ton brick. The aircraft immediately enters what pilots call a phugoid motion. Without a tail, the plane nosedives, picks up speed, gains lift, climbs steeply, loses speed, and then nosedives again. A terrifying, sickening roller coaster ride in the sky. To make matters worse, the plane is also Dutch rolling, twisting violently from side to side. Captain Takahama radios Tokyo Air Traffic Control. His voice is remarkably calm, tight with focus, requesting an immediate return to Haneda because of trouble experienced. The controllers offer a turn back to Tokyo or an emergency landing in Nagoya. But Takahama quickly realizes they cannot turn. Uncontrollable, he radios back. It is a chilling single word. For the next 20 minutes, the trio in the cockpit engages in one of the most heroic struggles in aviation history. With absolutely no flight controls, they have to invent a new way to fly. They realize they can only change direction or pitch by varying the thrust of the engines. Push the throttles forward, the nose goes up. Pull them back, the nose goes down. Increase power to the left engines, the plane veers right. It is an agonizingly clumsy, exhausting dance. The pilots are physically wrestling with the thrust levers, their muscles burning and sweat pouring down their faces as they try to keep the erratic beast from plunging into the sea or rolling upside down. While the cockpit is a war zone of alarms and physical exertion, the cabin is something else entirely. It is a space of terrifying clarity. Because the plane is swaying and diving for over 30 minutes, the passengers know they are facing death. There is no panic, no screaming chaos. Instead, a profound, tragic dignity takes over the cabin. Flight attendants, struggling to stand on the tilting floor, walk down the aisles, helping passengers secure their life vests and comforting crying children. And then people begin to write. Without smartphones or digital text, passengers reach into their pockets, pulling out dynamic flight logs, business cards, scrap pieces of paper, and notebooks. With shaking hands, they write farewell notes to their loved ones. One passenger, Hiratsugu Kawaguchi, writes to his children, telling them to be good to each other and help their mother, expressing his sadness that he cannot see them grow up. He writes that the plane is spinning and falling fast, but that he is grateful for the truly happy life he has enjoyed until now. Another note reads simply, asking his wife to please take care of their children, adding that the sky is dark now and that he loves her. These scraps of paper stuffed into pockets and purses would later become the most heartbreaking relics of the disaster voices reaching out from the brink of eternity. At 6:56 p.m., the right wing clips a mountain ridge. The impact tears off the remaining engines. The massive Boeing 747 flips on its back and crashes violently into the dense forest of Mount Takamagara. Then absolute silence. 32 minutes of agonizing struggle were over. Because of the remote, mountainous terrain and the pitch-black night, rescue crews did not reach the crash site until 14 hours later. It was widely assumed that no one could survive such a catastrophic impact. But they were wrong. Amidst the smoking wreckage, rescuers found a miracle. 4 survivors. All women, including an off-duty Japan Airlines flight attendant and a 12-year-old girl who had been shielded by the crumpled seats. Medical experts would later reveal a dark truth. Many more had survived the initial crash, but succumbed to shock in the freezing night air while waiting for help that came too late. The tragedy of Japan Airlines Flight 123 remains the deadliest single aircraft accident in history, claiming 520 lives. But it did not leave the world unchanged. The disaster forced global aviation authorities to completely redesign how bulkhead repairs are inspected and revolutionized how pilots are trained to handle total hydraulic failure. The memory of 3 pilots who refused to give up until the very last second, and 500 passengers who, in the face of inevitable darkness, chose to spend their final moments writing messages of love. Their voices, captured on paper, ensure that they will never be forgotten. If you liked our video, then please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our video, and keep watching our channel for more.